Hey everyone, this is Ryan B with Practical Forex Trading. This is your weekly analysis for Bitcoin versus the US dollar, BTCUSD. Date's March 15th. If you want to stay up to date with all of our Bitcoin videos and other currency pairs, make sure you click that red subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Okay, so weekly chart, Bitcoin. Sentiment bearish, but it's been a lot of buts with Bitcoin lately. Support is close. As we can see, this last week's candle, really big, huge bearish candle, but price, the body of the candle did close above this $5,000, $4,800 more specifically mark. And what that means is it's historically between $3,100 and $4,800 we have one of these price support and resistance zones where price doesn't hang out for too long, but it has held. So if I were to map out support and resistance with a rectangle, all right, so something like this. We can see that historically, so last week price plunged into here, but there was some buying. But at the same time, I'm not so keen to buy right now. Let's put it that way. So my sentiment still is bearish, meaning I think it could go down more. But I want to see what happens how price rides the support line. So if we see a close below 3,100. So close below 3,100. Could see return to 0. I know that sounds really extreme, but if it were to break that support line, there'd be nothing really holding it, no significant support to head down to the 0 line. So close below 3,100. However, we see price running above that. We also see price moving way ahead of this weekly moving average, meaning that we should see some consolidation. So let's go ahead and put this up here, and let's say now support and resistance comes into play. So here, now we can see retrace to 7,700. Let's map that out. Possible retrace to 7,700. Okay, so here we go. There's our retrace line. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit on the daily and see how that looks short term. Perfect. Okay, so this makes sense, right? We think about charts where price goes, where it visits where it had previously visited, but excuse me, what once was the ceiling is now the floor. What once was the floor is now the ceiling. So here, if we think about 76 area as the floor, now if price were to kick back up, it wants to catch up with this fast daily moving average, right? So it naturally would want to catch up with that. That would be a retrace to 7,700. And as you can see, this is kind of like a scribbly, not so exact line. So you could see some stabs above it. But now the coin's flipped because each one of those stabs is still honoring the downtrend, right? So price will have to hold above this 4,800 line to be considered even remotely bullish, and then to be actually legitimately bullish would have to be a close above 10,500, which now is seemingly more and more unlikely. So there we go. Let's click that. That's our bullish line. So bullish above 10,500. And that's a pretty tall order right now. Now this is just, a lot of market volatility. There could be mass buying. We do see some buying here. Price did hold, but what we'd have to see is an enormous amount of buying over the next months going into 2021 to really launch price above 7,700. So I think the retrace is very likely, but the breakout above that is less than likely because now we're talking about a trend. Let's go back to our weekly, right? This is our trend line. This is our multi-year trend line, descending trend. And guess what? Price did not break above it, nor did it break above 10.5. It tried, it kind of held, and then big sell-off all the way down into this lower range, all the way back down to this support line. So a lot of buying will now need to occur in 2021 to prop prices up. We'll definitely see the retrace to 7,700. The question is, at that point, if you're holding Bitcoin, do you dump it knowing that it probably won't get any higher than 7,700? So we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks for Bitcoin, but it has a lot of price action to prove if it's considered a buy again. All right, everyone. Happy trading out there. I hope you make lots of profits.